back, everybody, to another episode. My name's Emery Wolf. Joining me is
Nick Lamb.
And we are Just Two Camera Guys, a show where we're going to talk all things camera. It's been a while. We haven't talked really lately. What's been going on in your world?
Well, my world, we just lots of filming lately, actually. Lots of Leroy and Leroy stuff. Filming, that's kind of been taking over a ton of my filming time. I want to lift up my laptop a little bit here. Give me a second, because my eye line's a little weird. That helped.
You'd think you'd have this sorted out by now, eh?
You'd think so. So
is this
is just
your laptop that you're...
Yeah, I decided to go to the laptop. So I normally just plug in, I don't even know what kind, it's like an old USB 2 kind of thing. And I plug it in there. And I have a memory of myself going, I need that cable to charge something. And I took it out. And I obviously didn't put it back. I can tell you that much. But just like, look how good this looks in this room with this camera. Wow.
Yeah, it's stellar. You're almost in focus too.
Yeah, first time I've ever been in focus. That's a plus. Oh my, man. Look at that.
Old man problems, eh?
Oh, well, look at this. I've done zero. I'm creating a shadow on myself. Oh, this is sad.
It's too late to worry about it now.
The shadow's the least of my worries. Oh, this is good. Oh, whatever. Let's have a good episode.
Yeah. Let's kick this thing off. Are we?
That shadow is killing me. You think I could have hung my light is so off axis. It's not even. I'm gonna turn it down. But then this auto keeps adjusting. Whatever. That's the way it's gonna be today.
Do you not have a spot in your bag like where the cord goes?
Yeah, well, the problem is I don't know what I needed it for, so that's not going to work. I could try. No.
Yeah, no. That's just darkness.
So that's actually another thing. I need to... so when I camera assisted, I had typically on a show, you'd have 2 or 3 carts. Like they're big trolley carts, kind of. Picture... the kind of cart that you would get at a hotel, but then picture kind of, so they're almost as wide as the door and then too high. And they'd be like pretty long, maybe 6 feet long. And you'd have everything. Everything would be labeled out. Everything would have a spot. You'd open up the bag. Everything would be labeled. And when you took something out, it had to go back into the same spot. Like there was no ifs, ands, buts. Something gets taken away, it goes back in the same spot. Every time, always. But I have not applied that to my business camera gear as much. So I've got like mics going the top of my bag. There's like a whole bunch of mics everywhere. Camera goes in the bag. I've got a lens sitting on my desk. Like that just should not be happening. I got 2 hard drives. Like, so... This is going to drive you crazy, Emery. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this.
Why are you such a mess?
But why? This is 27. Yeah. And then it goes, where's this should be, it should be like that. It shouldn't go 20. And then this, you're going to go crazy over this. 38. There's some things in my life that I need to fix organizationally.
Yeah. I don't know how you run a business and have all those people renting from you. Like, and then I'm assuming your wife does all the work then.
I don't even know what's happened. And then, yeah. And like, these are 2 different kinds of, why you didn't have the same kind of battery? Why am I have different? Yeah.
So what made you go from being organized to disorganized? Like, how did you get this far?
I have no idea is the short answer. So in my own life, I'll have when you go into our house, how we've got the kitchen and then the dining room, that area has to be clean always, or else I'd just go crazy. But then if you go into our back room, I feel like it gets slowly worse. And then by the time you make it out to the garage where a lot of my stuff is, it just goes into the toilet. So yeah, I need to work backwards, fix all of that stuff, get a proper.
I shouldn't criticize you because I feel like I've kind of done the same thing. I just feel like I'm a little bit ahead of you, and I did most of it through during COVID, actually. Like, so gear wise, I'm actually fairly organized. I have individual bags for like everything, and everything has a spot, and it goes, if I take it out of the spot, it goes back to the spot. And if it's not in the spot, I'm like in panic mode.
It's lost.
Because
that was like camera assisting. If you go to the spot and it's not there, somebody stole it. Like, that's really the only explanation that can be possible.
Even though you're the only one that could have possibly stolen it.
Yeah.
And then two, actually, for myself, Nick, recently, I bought a new container to hold all my film development stuff in.
Oh, and yeah.
I was pretty pumped about this, but I don't even know how I got the idea. I was like going on Facebook Marketplace, and I found an old military ammunition box.
That's sweet. You should post a picture of it if you have it, like just on the screen right now if you have it.
But yeah, it's pretty neat, and it just I ended up, I didn't buy the one off Facebook. It wasn't the right size, but not PV Mart, Princess Auto actually had a bunch of them.
You bought that
as well? Yeah,
not
Princess Auto.
Wow, that's cool.
I talked to like an army surplus store in town. They couldn't get the right size. Cash Tactical, if anyone's in Regina looking for army surplus, it was a pretty interesting store that I just learned about after this. But yeah, bought it at Princess Auto. It fits everything perfectly. Tin can, waterproof, right? It's like perfect for it, and it sits on my shelf. Yeah, and it looks awesome. Just
side note, you got to remind me to send you that or bring that change tent next time I'm in town.
I should come out there this week or something to pick it up, because the film from our challenge with Adrian, I finished that film this weekend as well. Nice. So I've got to develop all that and kick that stuff out.
I'm gonna be in town on Wednesday, so I'll bring it in then.
Okay, that works. Cool.
I'll have the old truck out so I won't
cast.
Yeah. Yeah, very important stuff, very camera related.
Yeah. Do you know what else actually, Nick, is this is still like film related, but I actually, because I forgot about it, but my kickoff to film video has actually been approved. I just logged into YouTube. Restrictions are none, so I will be
put it out there.
Kicking all that out hopefully this week.
Share it through our site if you can too. Or tag our, I don't know, however you. Yeah, share it through the site. It would be good content for it.
Yeah, so lots of film stuff coming from me, which is new. That, speaking of which, too, that roll of film I had, Nick, how I finished it off. I had a cousin come here. Her kid was playing ball. He's playing in some like all-star league. He's only 9 years old, I think, maybe 10, and playing in town here. And that's the last few shots. I went with the camera and actually took them on the film.
Oh, nice.
But I might have ruined the film too, because I may have popped the back open before I rewound it. Got a little excited, so we'll see.
How much was spooled out?
Oh, it was like all the way. Like that last photo's probably pooched, but I'm hoping like having everything balled up inside.
That's what it's a pretty tight ball.
Yeah.
How light was it?
Well, I was holding it still too, so it like never came like fully open. It just like popped open, and I was like, I squeezed it shut right away. Right.
Were you inside or outside?
Oh, outside. Oh yeah, super bright.
Oh, daylight. You could be messed up then.
Yeah.
If you were inside, it's not as bad as you would have thought.
Yeah. We're gonna call it art, Nick. We're gonna call it art.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that said, though, too, it actually got me thinking about some things. So my daughter's going on to university, and thinking about taking photos of these kids playing ball. I used to take photos of my kid playing ball. but I don't really have that many photos of my daughter growing up. There was very few moments that I actually did stuff. Um, and the other problem I had was time. So when we were working like on whatever show, we were contracted for like 14-hour days.
Mm-hmm.
So like we never seen people at all, which included our kids. Do you have any like regrets, or like how did that affect you back then?
Well, mine was different than you because I didn't have kids back then,
Okay.
and I was married. But that's funny because that was actually one of the things was before I got married. It was like just like I'm not sure if you fully understand the job, but like I work a lot, and that's not gonna change. Like this is the job I want to do, and that's what's it's gonna be. So there was definitely some agreement going into it, and then over time it did kind of wear me down to the point where I didn't really want to anymore. But
Yeah.
no, that wasn't as really a problem because I think like we were in a different. I wasn't as I was in a different stage of life than you were, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Is there anything else though that when you look back, it's like, oh man, I wish I would have done more of this instead of more camera stuff?
um at the time there was thoughts like that. I don't know. I feel like everything for me, even if it seems like I wouldn't want to change stuff because I feel like it would affect other things and I don't want it to. I like where I am now and I don't want to. I wouldn't want to be the butterfly that messed anything up. So it's tricky. It's very tricky.
Yeah, man, I think that's like a very fair answer, right? Like, because when you say these things, or like I could say I regret not spending time with my daughter, and that's not maybe necessarily the truth of it all. Like the things I got to do were amazing. Where I'm at now is amazing, and like my relationship with my daughter is pretty good. We've been talking like every day for the last couple of weeks,
Oh,
just with her to
really?
build up going to school and stuff, and her getting ready for it. So um yeah, like no real complaints, but there was still some times like where it's I wish I would have done more, like gone
Yeah. No.
fishing with her at summer, swimming or whatever, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the amount of work. I remember even thinking like, man, it'd be nice to just be able to wake up and fry some hash browns. Like weird, because you just don't have the time, you know.
Yeah. And the funny part too is the job actually provided some other like bizarre, well, I shouldn't say bizarre, but other opportunities to do things with. So because we would be off all winter,
Mm-hmm.
and I like hockey. So when the kids, their school trips, they'd go to hockey rinks. I would be there right in the morning, tying
Yeah.
all the kids' skates and going out skating with them and stuff. And that stuff was fun too. Or going skiing, they would go out to the hill just to the east of us here, and yeah, go downhill skiing. And so yeah, like it brought those opportunities too, which yeah, wouldn't give those back for anything. Those were awesome.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing that struck me about your comment too is like your love for cameras. Has it always been there? Has it always been like the same?
No, for sure. So for me personally, like I loved it as a kid, huge into it. Like my grandpa had a video camera. I borrowed it. I was filming stuff all the time. Um, and then I would shoot a lot of videos and was shooting like tons of weddings and stuff in my very early 20s. But then when I started working in film, you, I don't know, I think wrongly, I had developed this mindset of like, I'm working on these projects and these other projects are stuff that I shouldn't that those are on a different level kind of beneath me, and so I kind of gave up a portion of that where I feel like I should have just kept doing it and just kept shooting weddings and kind of honing my craft. I could have gotten a lot better faster had I did that, I think. So
Honing your craft, that's an interesting touch too. Does that improve your love of cameras when you start honing that craft?
yes and no, because it's like yes as in you can it doesn't show it here. It's embarrassing because my lighting's so bad. But you develop at least like I develop a sense of this is all so. What's the word where that doesn't make any sense because of what you're seeing? It's like, um, um, right now looks so bad, but I do have the confidence that I can walk into any situation to make it look good.
Right.
It helps if I'm using my camera with the right lens. I guess it's the
Yeah.
right tools, but I feel like that confidence has gotten higher, and
Yeah.
it makes me more comfortable. I don't know if that changes the love of it or anything, but it makes you a lot more comfortable in situations. So now I can walk into a situation and I'm not nervous or anxious about what the end product's going to look like because I already know. As long as I can remember to hit record, plug the microphone in, it's going to be fine.
Yeah. That's interesting too. Was there ever a time like you lost the love of camera?
Yeah, well, I guess going back to the wedding stuff. So I remember hating editing them. So we were filming these weddings, and you'd have a stack of to be edited weddings starting to pile up, and you'd go out and you'd film them, and it'd be awesome. And then you get home, and then but now you also have to remember that this was 2002, 2003. And so it's not like you just turn on your MacBook, fire up Adobe Premiere, and it works. This was like you turn on your old PC, you'd have to plug in your weird adapter, hit play on your mini DV.
It would go through that weird internet
It
noise.
would go through, you wouldn't just transfer an SD card. You'd have to hit play on your camera, and then it would transfer it to your computer. And then if anything went wrong with that, you'd have to rewind it, start it over again, log it in. So by the time you log all your footage, it's like days. And then you would start editing, and the autosave feature wasn't existing. So you'd be like editing for 3 hours. You hit save. So you'd hit save, boom, the computer would just crash like super randomly. You try to hit play, nothing would play. And when you finally got done, you go to export. Good luck, because it drove me so crazy. So finally, I got so tired of it. I didn't have the same confidence that I have now. So I literally just sold the cameras. So when people asked me to come film a wedding, I was like, sorry, I don't own any cameras anymore. Like, it's so bad. It's such a terrible mindset because I didn't have the guts to say, sorry, I just don't want to do it because the computers suck. But it was just, yeah.
That is too funny, Nick. I can't believe we haven't talked about this before, but I had like the exact same in the wedding industry too, where it's just like, we're at the way back when, and stuff wasn't smooth. It wasn't operating right. Yeah. And then you get this load of projects to kick out. You're already shooting the next one, and you're just like, God, this just keeps piling up.
Yeah.
And it's like this mental drag. You don't want to do it. And then I did the same thing. Like, now the reason I have this camera too, I literally sold everything. It was like, so if people ask me, I can't do it now.
I can't do it. But it was like, yeah. So then we'd have these things piling up. And Ryan and I used to film them together back then, and then we'd edit them together. And it just got into it's your turn to edit the one. No, I edited the last one. It's your turn. No, it's your turn. It's your turn. You did. I did the last. And then so finally we just had to. I remember it was like a giant bag of like M&Ms, a giant thing of Twizzlers, so we got all these crazy snacks, and we took like a week, and we're like, we're getting these projects done. We just edited all of the stuff out, gave everybody their projects back, and just quit. It was so silly.
Oh man, that's too funny. So that was briefly a talk about why gear actually does matter.
Yeah. Well, it's so smooth. And I ran into that again this week. So Ruth Loves channels. She's had some videos that she had shot, and I was like, yeah, I'll edit those while we're on vacation, just in the morning or whatever, while people are getting up, or went to edit them on my MacBook, hit play, go, lag, go, lag. Oh, make transcodes, make transcodes. Transcodes were lagging. And I was just like, oh, this is, I just need my machine. I want to edit on my stuff I always edit on. It's, yeah.
So did it make you want to buy a new M1 MacBook?
It did. I was.
It's too funny.
Yeah, we've got the M1 Mac Mini upstairs in our, our dining room area / the room we spend all the time in the house. And I can edit on there just as fast, if not faster than I can on my super fast PC, It's nice. I like it.
Speaking of those sort of things too, that make things better, let's get some housekeeping out of the way.
Okay.
We've had a few talks about the state of our little podcast, or
my quality's getting worse every time. This was a bad time to have this. It's actually a perfect time to have this because
while you're just using your 1970s webcam.
Back on my this feels worse than it did on episode 1. I feel like that my stuff's been getting worse because then I moved into here to the office, Harry Potter's bedroom here, and I think I can make this look good, but I just need to stop being so cheap and get one of those mounts for those like Gorilla tripods or something for this thing, so I can just set it up, get that going, get a second light. I'm using one light and it's way off axis, and but the thing is, so I want to talk about with the show is the direction of I'm starting to feel like we should almost move to more technical talks with our guests, is what I've been feeling. I know that when we first started, it was like, let's get into the personal, the history, why they're doing what. But I feel like we're missing that technical side of things from people.
We can do that with a few people, I think, for sure. But I think we need to focus on stories.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, people, anyone who's going to listen is probably going to listen to hear, Nick talk about the time they broke something while shooting Leroy and Leroy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't care that you're using a $10,000 camera and holding it sideways.
Yeah, it's not this camera. I don't use this one.
Yeah,
but I would hold it sideways.
I don't know if that makes sense, like the difference between technical and the stories, but
yeah,
I think
it can be
a blend of both. Actually, do you know what? This goes into another thing you mentioned before, and we've talked about it. We haven't had a woman on the show yet. Not because we haven't wanted to. We've got names jotted down. We just haven't been able to make stuff work schedule wise. We were really hoping to get one during actually like before all of the chaos happened with COVID. We were talking about doing one with the WHL, and we just couldn't get the schedule to work. But with the gender thing involved there, our show is called Just Two Camera Guys, and you'd actually asked whether, is that something we need to change? And I was thinking about that, and just two camera guys is us. We are just two camera guys, regardless of what happens. It's us. The name's fine. It doesn't really matter that way because it's about us, not about other people, which is part of the joke, right?
I guess.
The other thing with it too is because it's about us, it doesn't necessarily define our show. So do we have to talk about cameras? No. Why do we? We're just two camera guys. We can talk about anything we want. Right? Like, and we can have on whoever we want because we're just two camera guys and it's our show. So that was kind of my take on the state of the name. Just because we were talking about it, we were thinking about it. I still think it's fine, and that's the reason why I think it's fine.
No, I agree with that. Let's keep it the same.
And then that blends to what you're saying too. If we want to talk about technical things, we can. If we want to talk about stories, we can. If we want to discuss things that aren't, I'm not going to say aren't remotely camera related, will still probably stay like within the field of like visual media. But actually, do you know what? Even like use for an example, if we want to talk to your mom about her paintings, just
About the
because
paintings.
she's using photographers for inspiration and things like that. There's
Big
lots of
time.
people that do that. So, you know, like that's, we can talk about it. We're two camera guys and it's our choice to talk about it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, what else do you think we could actually improve on our show?
Well, I was thinking for me, the awards thing would be super fun. Give some kind of awards. I'd want it to be some kind of either category or list, or maybe it's just Saskatchewan. Maybe it's like the camera award. Maybe it's a weekly thing. Maybe we do nominations throughout the year and then pick a winner and then pick the winner at the end of the year, but we would not kind of do a nomination every week.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there, actually. I dig that idea. It's good. I like it. I was just going to say, like, when you first sent me the text on this, I was just like, you're like, we should do awards. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we going to give out for an award? Like, good job this week, Nick. High five. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Well, I was thinking we could give, my first idea was like a local production award for within the video field. So somebody shoots a video, even if they make a commercial for SAS Tourism, or they make a commercial for even something lower than that, like say they did a commercial for the local plumbing business, but it's just like a really cool ad or something. Just kind of stuff that doesn't really get a ton of notice or recognition, but there is some good stuff out there. I
almost think this is two different ideas than Nick. Like we should be doing something to like recognize local work, and then too at the end of the year we can kind of give out awards for anything we want.
Best camera of the year, best lens, or I don't know. We could go that way too.
Yeah, like we could, honestly, I almost feel like we should make it like a spoof entertainment award thing. You know, the best hair on just two camera guys.
Well, I saw this ad on Spotify, and the ad, it was this yellow screen, and it said, "This is an ad for Simply Dentist." Yep. This is an ad. And it's for Simply Dentist. If you're expecting anything more, that's not it, because this is just an ad. And I was just like, oh my goodness, that is so sweet. It had my attention the whole time. It was great.
Yeah. Do you know what? I like this idea. I think we need to sort of like make it a little bit better, make it into some. So we'll have to sit down and talk. If people have been listening this entire time and have gotten up to this point, please leave us a comment and let us know what you think.
Idea.
Maybe how we can run or operate these awards. That'd be great. Any help would be great. You know, we're not getting a ton of comments, so we will definitely read your comments.
Yeah, we'll answer them. No worries there.
Yeah, so that's cool. I think that's a good outlook on the future with that. Actually, the negative outlook on the future, Nick, do we continue the photo challenge or
the photo challenge? I think challenge?
We've never come up with a name. We don't have sponsorship. It's always a tire fire in the show.
It's okay. Here's would be my recommendation. We stop letting other people pick the next idea. We just present them, and it's no longer a B-roll or something silly. It's a photo challenge where it's a photo that's a challenge, but we pick it because the ideas are getting every show. It's always the same thing because nobody ever has seen the show before they get on as a guest, and they go, Oh, I've got to pick an idea. And then they do that for about 5 minutes. And then they finally come up with something really strange. And it just never works.
It's too bad our fame doesn't precede us, eh?
Yeah.
Or they're just like, oh, I got to have something ready to go here.
Yeah. Yeah. Or we could send them that in advance, but we don't.
I don't know. But, here's the other thing is the fact that the segment's a complete tire fire. Is that kind of fun?
I think that part's fun. I think there could be a funny bit to the fact that I never do it and I just submit something last second. Half the time it's just a Google image.
Yeah, what do you mean bit? That is what you've done so far. Yeah. Anyways, again, I think another thing for the comment section, if people are still listening.
Just every time. I'm having real trouble with my connection. I can't seem to send you the image. Yeah, my sharing's been disabled. Never mind.
It's a good thing we edit the show after we record it. Actually, that's another thing to discuss. We've tried to do some live stuff. Do you think that's ever going to bite?
I say, okay, this would be my preference. All live and just re-streamed until we get to the point where we're both either in the same room and we can record it straight to camera, or
actually, that's another elephant in the room too, is when we can do one actually together, because we have no more restrictions. We could actually do that.
Mm-hmm. So I just feel bad for the editing, because you're editing these and you're doing a good job, but I just don't think that for where we are right now with the show, it's worth it. I would say we just do it straight off of the deck, send them out, and then kind of slowly build up over time to that if we need it.
Yeah, editing's a pain. I actually think editing saves us at this point. That's why I kind of like it now. I don't know. I think it's debatable. I think we do need to work out the live thing and try and get that working so that we can just record and edit live, kick it out, and then slap on a title at the start. And actually, I always kind of like the outtakes at the end are always fun. And if we do it
they're
live,
always
take
fun.
That out.
Yeah. But you know what you could put at the end? Okay, this will still, you can put the first 5 minutes where we chat with somebody. You can pull something funny out of that.
That is where those things are coming from. Mostly.
Yeah. So you could still have that, and then we go to the actual show that's not edited, and then you put one of the funny bits at the end.
We need to sort it out. And I think the other thing too is, if we have taught anyone today, is that camera guys, or at least these two camera guys, do not like editing.
No.
I'm up like
editors like editing
already.
The people that like to operate the camera typically don't like the editing. And I think it has more to do with people than, because I like the editing part. I just prefer the interacting with people part that the being a camera person allows you. And you don't have that when you're editing.
Yeah. Nick, we should kind of start wrapping things up. I've got I've got one more thing I'm gonna just glass over real quickly. You've got one other thing that I think is going to be a fun way to end it. Mm-hmm. So our second last topic here is counterfeit camera gear. Mm-hmm. Basically, it sounds like what's happened, and I don't know how like big of an industry this is, but it sounds like what's happened is with like being able to purchase things online, the Amazon marketplace. How do you actually know you are getting and receive non-counterfeit gear? And I don't have an answer for that.
Now, are you talking when you, I just want to make sure I'm not, well, I'm going to embarrass myself no matter what, but when you say non-counterfeit, I'm going to use Canon for an example. When you, goes on a Canon camera and it's a Canon lens, You mean somebody that's impersonating a Canon piece of equipment?
Like, so with Amazon Marketplace, for an example, is I could take my camera battery
Yeah.
and type up a thing online and say, hey, I have a Canon LP E6N battery here for sale. It's basically not used, 75 bucks for it. But really what I could have is some weird battery with a Canon sticker on it.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not actually a Canon product.
Yeah. Um, I don't think I actually have any gear that's been, what was the word you used? Forged, not forged.
Yeah, counterfeit.
Counterfeit, yeah. I don't think that I have any counterfeit gear,
I
but I
guess like
might.
maybe here's the better way to ask this is have you ever bought online or from somewhere or something that seems a little sketchy?
Yeah, so I play a lot of board games, and you see that's actually a serious thing in the board game industry. I'd say it's more important there because in the camera world, like if people don't feel as sorry for Canon as they do for this really small publisher that has one employee of a board game, and when somebody's counterfeiting their game and they're losing proportionately a larger portion of their
Yeah.
business's income.
And I think it's harder to counterfeit like a pretty substantial piece of electronic.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not gonna, the camera you're showing off, or we're talking about your video camera for Leroy and Leroy, how expensive that is. No one's gonna counterfeit that thing, because even just a counterfeit, that's still gonna cost you a couple grand, right? And it's not worth that risk of money.
But the lens, I could see them counterfeit. It's a harder thing to pull on a camera person's heart or whatever than it is for a smaller industry, because people won't feel as bad for the company, I don't think, in general. Now, ethically, you could take it to another level and say it's still not right, because
I think it's funny that you're talking about like the companies, because in my mind it was a problem for me, not for Canon.
Oh, because you were getting a crappier piece of equipment. But I guess I'm wondering is like, I don't know if I have anything that's been counterfeit.
Well, so, and that goes back to like the other question about like where you purchase things. Like as far as like most of the stuff I purchase is from Don's Photo in town. Mm-hmm. There's a few like peripheral things like that I know I can't get at Don's. Generally, if I'm going to order from somewhere, it ends up being B&H Photo.
Yeah.
So like I know going to those places that I should be getting things that aren't counterfeit. I mean, Don's is 100% for me.
Yeah.
Is B&H probably, but it's still online. It's still sort of that gray area, but they are partnered with, each product or whatever. So they can do it. And I think that's sort of the best way to like safeguard yourself from it, is to always make sure you're using that. Or if you do buy from Amazon, make sure they are like a online retailed seller.
I don't think B&H would intentionally rip you off either. That at least anything that when I've been in the store, like they're really good there in my experience.
Yeah. I think that's really the moral of the story. I was going to show people how to check when you go, like Canon's been doing a big push on it lately because of the online purchases. And I'm guessing it's probably caused them a few issues, right? But they have some stuff to check on. And I thought my battery should have had a hologram on it, which is why I had it out. But it wasn't that exact product of battery that would have had a hologram on it. So, but I mean, it looks legit from the markings.
It's weird. Mine
they
doesn't
sort of tell
either.
you how to read the markings too.
You'd think.
So, yeah, counterfeits. It's weird. It's something I have actually never thought about in the camera world until today.
I'd never thought about it either. I'll pay attention to it. But yeah, I don't see it being, maybe just because I don't know, but I've never seen it being a problem in the camera world, but maybe
Or
it is.
because you're buying from actual places all the time.
Yeah.
The last thing, Nick, we have to do, we had a little mailbox question last week, and it sounds like you have some follow-up for us. I'm not sure if this is more questions or what. You haven't really given me a real prep about this, so I'm curious to hear what you have.
So basically, the question, I can't fully remember it, but so I'll change it to whatever my memory is of it.
You can't even remember where you put that cord for your camera, so I'm not surprised.
My memory of the question was, I am thinking about getting the 24 to 70 zoom lens, is what I'm pretty sure the question was.
And Sigma versus,
should I get that, or the person that wrote it in actually had been reading some Tamron reviews and then some Sigma, and so they'd been looking at the Canon reviews and just going, okay, this is a really good lens. That they wanted the 281, and then they were looking at the Sigma, wondering if that was worth it, and then they went down the rabbit hole of the Tamron lens, and so but they've been reading all these reviews, and they were saying, wow, this is actually a pretty good lens. All of this stuff. Ordered in. And my opinion on it was just stick with the Canon one, but get a used one because you find a pretty decent price for the used lens. I can't even remember what the exact price was. Was it $700? We found some used ones for $800, maybe $1,000.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, so the person went to the local camera shop in Moose Jaw. They ordered in this Tamron lens for them.
Who is your local camera shop out there? Just out of curiosity.
It's not Dawn's. Oh my, Wells Cameras. They're good there. They're really good. They'll bring in anything you want. It's just similar to Dawn's, just a smaller version, basically. But so yeah, brought it in, put it on, soft. Set the lens back. Did he buy it? Yeah. So then he took the lens back and was like, this lens is just soft. And so they're like, yeah, that is weird. Got a new lens in, soft. It's just a crap lens. It was a crap lens. It's soft. The lens is soft, but the reviews they're good, but the reviews are taking into account how cheap the lens is. So it's like, yeah, it's a good lens for $300 or whatever. Or they're faked reviews, which is possible too. Which is a huge thing. That's another day.
more counterfeits, eh?
But I wanted to. The thing that I actually like about the camera gear as a hobby, as a profession, is how kind of robust the used market is. And this goes against what you just said with the counterfeiting, but I think we need to take advantage of it and not be scared of it. Because so this person's still scared to go out and purchase a used lens, and I'm saying you can go to the person's house, you can put the lens on, you can take a photo, you could bring your computer with you, you could put it in, and their response was, well, I don't know if they've dropped it. But the counter argument is, you took a photo with it, who cares if it was dropped and you don't know? Like,
as long as realistically, if it got dropped, you'll notice.
Yeah.
There'll be marks on the outside of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's right here. I'll show you. I dropped this thing. As you can see it right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
actually that is impressive itself and speaks volumes, the fact that you dropped that and that's all it did.
Yeah. It fell off my glide cam.
I dropped a Sony lens, not a GEOS, but one of their cheaper versions of lens, and like I dented that thing. Like it wasn't just a little scratch; it was a dent. Like,
yeah.
And actually, and let me rephrase. It wasn't a drop. I had it set on the ground because I took another lens, popped it on, and when I moved my foot, kicked it over, and just from it flopping, it dented.
Really?
Yeah. Like, so the fact that your lens took that, it took it like a champ, right?
Oh no,
And
this was about 5.5 feet in the air, like glide cam, but
yeah,
I think I must not have clicked it. I honestly don't know what happened, but it fell and hit the ground.
yeah. The point is the more money you pay, like that's one of the things you're paying for is a little durability, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously it had hit the glass, but it hit the side, and I just put it back on, and now it's fine. It works great still.
No, used stuff is great. Actually, I'm trying to think too. Like, I know I started out with some used stuff. You said you start out with used stuff.
I still buy used stuff all the time. Like, well, not I don't buy stuff all the time, but I mean, I haven't bought camera gear in a while now. But when I
The
do,
most
it's used
expensive
stuff.
thing in my camera bag right now is used or was used.
Your body itself?
It's not even the most expensive thing. That 70 to 200 lenses.
Oh yeah, but that actually is what makes it all affordable. Is because you buy it used, and then if you sell it and upgrade or change, you don't lose the you don't have to pay that new to used premium that you would have. It
Yeah,
allows you to change your mind with gear. It allows you to try gear. I would go used. I really would.
yeah. So here's kind of a weird question for you, Nick. Is buying used gear is that the camera guy subscription model?
I think it's the anti-subscription model, because the subscription model is it just keeps draining and draining and draining your bank account. Whereas here, I bought this 85 1.2 lens
That thing
for
just looked good when you put it through. Like you could see right through it. It was great.
under $1,000. I think it was like $800 or $900. It's worth the exact same amount that I paid for it 7 8 years ago. Um, if I'd bought it new, I would have spent $2,000 on it, and it would be worth $800 900 today. Like I just can't wrap my head around why I wouldn't buy it used.
Yeah, for sure. But that's what I mean though by like I almost feel like it's the subscription model because used is like the gateway. Because like you'll buy one thing used and you're like,
Okay,
man, that was a good deal. The
yeah,
thing was awesome. And then you're like, ooh, but there's this other thing. Ooh, I
yeah.
found this.
It allows you to keep purchasing because you think that you're not losing money on it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But you're not selling anything, so
Yeah,
the theoretical resale value doesn't even matter because
yeah.
I've never sold it. So
Actually, you have got me using this app, and I'm using it because I'm trying to encourage my daughter to use it as well. But the Every Dollar app.
oh yeah, I love that app.
Um,
That is amazing.
so just like talking about like budgeting and stuff for that, that's like one of the things they actually even mention in one of the articles they email out to you when you sign up is about like how you're flawed in your thoughts about money, and like when you're saving money on a lens you think you have that money for something else and you really don't generally. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Have you been using it? Like where you'll put your
i've
income and
I've
expenses
like,
and then
yeah, I've just like sort of started, and honestly, Nick, it's I hate to admit this, but it's been a little eye-opening for me. And not in a way like I thought it was. Like I've never really budgeted, right? Like I'm just not that. My mind does not operate in that way. I hate being like restricted. I hate having limits to things. I just want to go out and to do, right?
Mhm.
And but what it's done and where it's been good for me is it's forced me to sort of look at my stuff, and now it's like things I'm not putting limits on. It's like ooh, if I do this I can do this. And now like I'm excited for that, and I've been like using the app for like a week. Oh, so yeah, it's been good, but I'm gonna try to encourage my daughter to use it a little more, and I think once she gets used to it,
Oh,
she's gonna
if
have
she can
sort of the
start
same thing.
using it at in her early 20s like this,
Mhm.
and then um the key will be when she starts making serious money,
Yeah.
because she's going to be able to make more money than you and me put together. But I mean,
Yeah.
and then taking that 15% savings and then just putting that off the top and then being able to budget out the rest of her stuff,
Yeah.
it's just
Where
amazing.
where she needs to work on is she's like locked. Like this is my budget. That's it. That's all. And like where, one of the first things I found out is like, well, budgets change, right? Like so, I was going through them. I was catching up, like going through my bank statement stuff online and looking at what I had to actually put into it. And, I had this $190 e-transfer for hockey. And I was like, I didn't budget this at all. Right. So then I'm like going through, I'm like, do I take it out of the fund money? So yeah, it was one of those things, and yeah, just you shift it around, and now I have a budget line item for hockey that'll stay in the budget.
Yeah, that goes there. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
And
it's freeing actually. I found it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I would describe it as freeing, but it's the most I've ever looked at my own money in a period of time, and it kind of helps guide your life. So like not even, I wouldn't say freeing, but like guide you responsibly.
Yeah, I guess because we're different, so it's freeing for me because then I don't have the stress because it reduces the stress around money because the answers are all there, kind of.
No, I get that, right? Like, and actually, I can relate to that too, because like I can see like that line item, like this is for savings, and that's like, that feels good. I've never really had that there, and I've never tracked it, and I've never said like that is going there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, kind of that does relieve some stress, but yeah, also at the same time, it's just good to know like things are getting done, things are getting handled. I almost feel like a responsible adult.
But it's right. Yeah, I never even thought of that for you, but that's a good thing to kind of get a handle of, to be able to pass on to your kid,
Yeah, I can't wait to actually talk to her more about this too, just because I can be like, look, this is how your dad is an awful person when it comes to
Yeah, well, yeah,
budgeting.
being honest
and
with it
and
too.
this is helping him. So like if you learn this at 21 versus 40, you're winning the game.
Oh, it's the amount. It's actually incredible, the difference that would make. Yeah.
And Nick, I think that goes point in case. Just two camera guys doesn't have to be just cameras. It's somewhat camera related. It came out of that talk, but it's all financial stuff, which we oddly talk a lot about as well.
Yeah, maybe we need to put that in the thing. I feel like if the finance shows get all the clicks, all the sponsorships, all of the cashola.
Yeah, except ours would be like finance for dummies.
Finance by dummies.
Yeah, finance by dummies. I was going to say with dummies. Good stuff. Well, Nick, I think maybe leave her at that for the day. That was everything we had on our list to go over. We have one interview lined up, which I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping we get a second one, which I actually haven't talked to you about, Nick, yet. I emailed the person, so hopefully they get back to me.
Okay.
And
yeah, we've got I don't know if I can spoil it, but it's a big guest.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Really. Like everyone here knows him. And actually that's the funny part, is like everyone in our industry knows him. I don't think people outside know him. Like my mom wouldn't have a clue. She wouldn't even believe the things he's done.
No, but it's like it's a local success story without a doubt, in our field anyway.
And do you know what else is a common trend for us here? Is just like a genuine nice guy, like one of the nicest guys you'll meet, right? Like, so.
Yeah.
That's the only fear I have about that interview, is like he's almost too nice to give himself credit. So
yeah, he really just is such a great guy, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap up for tonight then. And I guess to everyone out there, have a good night.
Keep your stick on the ice.
I think that's how we should end every show now. Keep your stick on the ice.
That was the red and green, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, red and green used to always say, yeah, till next time, keep your stick on the ice.
I always like the it's such a dumb thing, but the body break one, keep fit and have fun. I don't know why.
Keep fit and have fun. No, the body break one was good. Keep rolling. So the window is the last shot.
Oh. This is us closing the window. What's his face says, I shoot raw or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. So stupid.
I like him though. He's good.
I like him, but I shoot raw is stupid. Like, who is buying those t-shirts?
I have no idea.
No one should be the answer.
Yeah, so you say something and then I'll just say like, remember to keep your batteries charged or something.
Remember to keep your batteries charged.
Because that's about the only difference. That's the joke of what's the difference between a professional photographer and getting your uncle with a nice camera is that professional will show up with their batteries charged.
Have a good night, and remember, always use auto.
Manual focus is for the weak.
Have you ever seen stuff with like holograms on them?
Like Upper Deck hockey cards?
Ooh, another way you can do it, actually, which is true, is if you put a counterfeit battery into your camera will actually go into like, you may self-destruct this camera mode.
Mm-hmm. Then click OK. Boom.
Yeah.
Fine.
And then you still have the option to click OK. I think subscription for camera stuff is here.
Not on my watch. Because I feel like if we took a screen cap of every one of the episodes, my quality is getting slowly, it's getting like, it should be on an upward trend, but it seems to be on a downward trend.
All right.
And at this rate, like, I'm not even going to have a microphone next week. That's part of the reason why I'm late, actually. But I'm not going to say who, but somebody that's under 5 feet tall was yelling at somebody else.
Ooh, it's over 5 feet tall.
It's over 5 feet tall. Have we been started? I thought we started already.
No, we didn't do an intro. We didn't do anything.
Oh, I was all amped up right now.